Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So we're now just hours away from the much anticipated Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 5, and as usual guys, we're going to be discussing what to expect, some theories and predictions. So right off the bat, I will say if there was ever an episode to have Clone Wars flashbacks of Anakin and Obi-Wan, it's this one. This is the episode to make it happen, as Obi-Wan prepares for his second duel with Vader in episode 6. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the leaks too much, but I will say that Making Star Wars stated that episode 5 would be the episode where that happens. And there's a general feeling in the fandom, a general consensus, that Hayden Christensen has been completely underused, and when it was revealed he's not even in the suit 99% of the time, that was very disappointing. Right now we've only seen him in that one hallucination that Kenobi had on Mapuzo, so fingers crossed with 2 episodes to go, we do get some Anakin action in flashbacks. It's a vital inclusion to a show that was marketed to us as the big return of the 2 prequel fan favourites. They used Hayden a lot during the press tour as the face of the show with Ewan, and so far they've not delivered in that sense. We've not seen him outside the Bacta tank. I do get that it's important to be patient, and there are still 2 episodes to go. It's not over just yet, so hopefully this week. Now, as we head into episodes 5 and 6, we're entering the 3rd and final act of this story, or rather season 1, because there is rumoured to be a 2nd season. As such, I've heard this upcoming episode being labelled as a turnaround episode, especially by fans who've been disappointed by the last episode, or the show on the whole so far. And while it is important for the final 2 episodes to deliver, we do in some way have to give the overall story a chance. That's why I've held off giving a strong opinion one way or another on the overall series. Some things I absolutely adore, while other things I don't care for, but I'm not going to write the show off just yet. The next 2 episodes are decisive. They're so important for Obi-Wan's character development and the payoff for everything set up so far. And I must say guys, and this might just be me, but I think Kenobi works so much better when you view it as one long movie. I had a much deeper appreciation for episode 4, which I didn't particularly love when I first saw it, after watching episodes 1 to 4 back to back. And as you guys might be aware, there are some cinemas or movie theatres in America and Canada that will be showing Kenobi theatrically, and I think that's the way it should be viewed. When all is said and done, rewatching episodes 1 to 6 back to back with no breaks, I think that way you can see the story unfold in a much more clear and concise way. So I'm really hoping the final act changes the perception of the show for fans who've not really been loving it so far. So let's talk about what's next for Kenobi. While there is so much that we don't know, I suspect Kenobi and our heroes, Leia, Tala and Roken, are heading back to the base on Jabiim. I think for the meantime the rebel base is going to be a sanctuary for Obi-Wan, at least for some of the next episode. We know that Reva placed a tracker inside of Lola, so it probably won't be long until the Empire shows up and the Inquisitors track him down. And I suspect, and this is just a fan theory, that episode 5 is going to give us a lot more Vader, based on the mishaps on Fortress Inquisitorius. Vader is probably going to take matters into his own hands, and he's going to go after Kenobi himself, but I will say I don't think the 2 of them are going to fight in this episode. I imagine it's going to be more of a chase between our heroes and the Inquisitors plus Vader. And speaking of the Inquisitors, a fan theory I love is that this is the episode we do see some real lightsaber action. We've seen glimpses of it here and there, but the 5th brother's not used his lightsaber yet, and it was rumoured there'd be a scene that included some all-out Inquisitor lightsaber action, similar to Star Wars Rebels. That's going to be amazing if it happens. And a second point on the Inquisitors, when is the Grand Inquisitor coming back? Rupert Friend is slated for more than just 2 episodes, and the other day he confirmed on Jimmy Kimmel how he survived. But the question is, when is he going to be back? Are they saving him for the last episode? Who knows? And as decent of a villain as Reva is, we certainly feel the absence of the Grand Inquisitor in the last couple of episodes. He brings a kind of intensity to the group that cannot be matched, but I also understand it helps the current story that he's not back yet. Vader makes Reva think he's dead as incentive to work harder to want to attain the position herself. Now, if we're going to be spending some time on Jabiim, I wonder if we're finally going to see some of the Force Sensitives and Jedi Colony that was teased in episode 3. I'm not saying we're going to see Quinlan Vos, but meeting some of the members of this sanctuary could do a lot to move the story forward, especially in terms of Obi-Wan's own growth. By the end of the season, he's going to be a changed man, and I think part of that journey is not only connecting to the Force, but also witnessing firsthand that Order 66 was not the end of the Jedi. Now look, he knows it's not. He obviously knows about Yoda, he's met Nari, he knows there are a few Jedi scattered across the galaxy, and of course the bigger plan for Luke in the future, but at this point morale-wise in the story, he's still very hopeless regarding the fall of the Jedi. It was a very good start seeing the path, meeting Tala and seeing what Bail Organa's doing with the rebellion, rebellion, but in my opinion, he really should meet these Force sensitives to see the light for himself. I think that's the path they're going down, and it's going to give him a lot of personal strength and morale going into the final duel with Vader in this show. And speaking of things to boost his morale, there is still the question of reaching out successfully to the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, inevitably, that's where the show is leading, and I think by the end, we will see his Force ghost, as the leak stated. It probably won't be in this episode, but definitely in episode 6, but I think in episode 5, they're still going to tease that theme as one of Obi-Wan's primary goals, as it should be. It was the only bit of training Yoda had for Obi-Wan on Tatooine. So at this stage, my dear friends of the video, I'm going to give you a massive spoiler warning because I'm about to go into leak territory. If you don't want to be spoiled, then turn away now. So 3, 2, 1, let's get into it. So according to Making Star Wars, the biggest highlight of episode 5 is going to be Kenobi's meditation. He's going to reflect on his life as a Jedi, and according to the leaks, we are going to get flashbacks. He's going to focus on the mindset and fighting style of Anakin, which is when we reportedly get the Clone Wars era flashbacks. Now, I do think Clone Wars era is a bit misleading because the leaks do state it's more Attack of the Clones Anakin rather than Anakin during the Clone Wars or Revenge of the Sith, so it could be sometime during, before, or after Attack of the Clones, but not as far out as the Clone Wars. The leak says we do see the Master and Apprentice practice duel with their lightsabers, and this is when Anakin and Obi-Wan kind of haze each other. We get that brotherly bond while also getting a glimpse of Anakin improving, and in Jason from Making Star Wars' own words, Anakin is going to be a smartass who points out Kenobi's flaws, with Obi-Wan responding with instructions and advice. They're basically going to show us that brotherly bond between the two. It probably is going to be a bit heart-wrenching, but we all want to see it. Now, the leak also states that, as expected, Anakin is going to arrogantly ignore Obi-Wan's advice. We've got to bear in mind that at the stage the flashback takes place, in the Attack of the Clones era, Anakin is not as mature as he is later on. So in spite of their developing bond, Anakin still sees Obi-Wan, as the way he did in episode 2, as a master holding him back. But as we know in the canon, this bond then flourishes and develops into an amazing brotherhood. And this is why I recommend you go out and read Brotherhood by Mike Chen. It provides so much extra context, backstory, and insightful depth into the relationship between the two characters. It's a must read. And if we are going to get these flashbacks in episode 5 of the Kenobi show, then that book is truly the best complement to it. But as I say guys, there is so much unknown. As for the runtime of episode 5, Making Star Wars say unfortunately it's another short one. They don't know if it's as short as episode 4, but it is stated to be under 45 minutes. But quality is more important, and I'm so excited about the unknown and seeing more Vader and Kenobi in preparation for their final big duel in the finale. So let me know in the comments down below, are you excited for episode 5? What are some things that you hope for or that you want to see in this penultimate episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also be sure to turn on the notification bell because tomorrow I will be doing my full episode breakdown. I can't wait to see you there guys. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.